welcome to Chai, Chat and Wine. I'm Kina.
I'm Sonal.
And today we are going to be talking about weddings. Well, it's this whole tin equality again. Sorry about that because we're indoors because the weather is just awful outside. So we're back on Zoom. Good old Zoom. So hey Dee, miss you.
Yeah, I know. Gosh, I can't wait till we can actually meet up again.
Yeah, get all these restrictions out of the way with. Well, 17th of May we can be indoors, right? So weather will not matter then. But till then, today is a historic day. And do you know why?
Why?
Because marriage certificates in England and Wales from the 4th of May are going to include mothers' names, the groom and the bride's mother's names. Until now, only the father's names were included, right? And they've now changed it.
That is so good, and about time.
About time. So it's the biggest shake-up since 1837. And that's how old this whole institution and the recording of it is. And I mean, some people will say you're talking weddings. And I mean, I personally like weddings, but a lot of people will say, well, it's just an outdated nonsense thing. It's not valid in today's day and age, in today's life. Marriages.
To be fair, I think the relevance of it probably is less in this day and age, without a doubt, compared to what it was maybe 20, 30 years ago. But especially in our Indians as well, especially now with people living together and all sorts of things happening.
Yeah.
Really, what is it offering? It's a certificate you're going to sign for whatever, but...
well, this is it. It's all electronic now, finally, as well. So they're going to be keeping electronic registers rather than the book, the registry book that had to be held. So, all those changes...
Does that mean there's one less function then for our Indian weddings?
You mean
weddings have about 5 functions, I think, on average.
Yes, yeah, exactly. One less function, the civil ceremony function. But then the girl doesn't get to wear the white wedding dress. You see, us Indian girls are quite selfish like that, aren't we? We want to wear the white wedding dress, we want to wear the Indian wedding dress, and we want to have a garba night, we want to have a mehendi night, we want to have some other night, So, because then, we want to have a reception. That just means we get lots and lots of beautiful outfits to wear and lots of parties. But financial burden is massive on that, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And you're absolutely right. I think it's just, I think the average cost of a wedding is something like, what is it again? 30,000?
Yeah, it ranges. It says it ranges anything from about 18,000 to a heartbreaking 32,000 in the UK. Pounds, obviously.
So that's definitely not Indian wedding.
No, because
that's definitely not Indian wedding.
They can almost double. If you have all those functions and your guest list is massive, that could easily be looking at 60-something thousand, couldn't you?
Yeah, I think 60 plus, definitely. I think 60 is probably your base. If you have all the functions, obviously you could have maybe just the wedding and reception, which is perfect, which could then bring it down, which is great. But
and a smaller guest list. I mean, people who've had to get married recently where you've been allowed to only have 15 guests. Yeah, there might be the con that you wanted more people who mean something to you and are close to you there and they missed out or you missed out on having them there to share your beautiful day. But think of everything else, you've saved a lot of money you can put towards a deposit for a house.
Yes, yeah. More practical things.
Things. But not taking away that I do love weddings and I love going to weddings. So if weddings become obsolete, that'll be a shame because then that means...
I was going to say extinct, but that's perhaps not the right
Not extinct. They might become extinct one day. People might go, ooh, do you remember that thing they used to do in the 2000s? They used to get married. But no, I mean, partnerships are more common. No, I don't think they're more common, actually. I think people are still getting married. It's still a big thing. It's still a big business.
Yeah. And to be fair, you're absolutely right. It is a nice thing. It's very... very sweet and it's very lovely and everything, and I just think there are options, which is nice. Well, it's nice now because I said brides and grooms, whichever culture they come from, have got options. They can choose a smaller guest list. They don't have to have 1,500 people at their wedding in a big school hall somewhere, which is what they used to traditionally be, didn't they? Exactly, you're absolutely right. And now I think our generation has changed now, where our parents have to invite everybody they knew. I think certainly in our generation, I don't think our kids are going to get married like that at all.
No. They're gonna. I don't know what they're gonna do, but they're probably gonna say we want to have a more intimate. Which, to be fair, if you had your time again, we would just say, actually, you know what, handful of people that I just want here, and you just share your special day. It doesn't have to be so many people. You look out in the crowds and you see thousands of people there, hundreds of people there, and you don't know any of them.
And to be fair, they're not even paying attention to the ceremony or what's going on.
Yeah, they come for a gossip. They bitch about the food. They bitch about the plates that the food was served in. They bitch about the lines they had to stand in. Then they comment on what the bride looks like, what the groom looks like, what the families look like, and then they go home. What's the point? But hey, for some people, that's their entertainment. They haven't got out in a while. But I remember when, this would have been what, in 1990s, every Sunday in August, there would be a wedding.
Yes, yeah.
I used to hate that. That was just too much. Yeah. Every weekend was taken up with going to a wedding, and it's one of these.
You had to go to show your face. Remember, you had to show your face.
Yeah, and that's what people said. We're just going to show your face, and you go, well, it's so insincere from every side. It's costing, at that time, mostly the bride's family so much money just so that these people can come and show their face. They don't want to invite them. They don't want to go, but people kept doing it just to keep up appearances.
Yeah, and I think we've lost that now, which I think is really
good. Yeah. Well, also another thing we've lost is this whole, the ancient systems of dowries and all that, where, families again had to pay so much dowry to get their girls. In fact, that's where the root of all these problems is, where at least in Southeast Asia, they don't want girls because they're seen as burdens. They have to get them married one day.
And it probably was the biggest burden, wasn't it, for a family, if they had a daughter to get her married.
Yeah, and that's where they used to then
that would cost.
Kill all these girls.
Crazy.
Yeah. So, and it led to all these horrible things like baby girls being murdered and all that sort of stuff. So, thankfully, all that's gone. And all that gold buying. Do you remember, again, when we were young, if you were going to get married, the parents had to send you the lot of gold. I mean, I suppose that was because in the olden days, that made sense that you're almost sending what the family's going to look after you with. But, again, all that cost has gone down. But weddings are a special thing. And whether you get married in the UK, or you get married overseas, or whatever it is that you're planning, hopefully everybody's getting to have a day that they want to have, a day of their dreams.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's really, and I think you've said it exactly, it's what they want. Have the day you want and make the most of it and enjoy it, because it is a lovely thing.
It is a lovely thing. I can't
take that away from anyone. Yeah.
And remembering why you're actually doing it, that the fact that it's a union of two, hopefully, souls, and you've thought about this, and as far as you can see, you're going to be together and you're going to make the world the place you want it to be, and maybe bring a family into it, maybe bring dogs into it, who knows. But, just get old together and build the life you want, travel together. And
then destination weddings, the new thing. So.
Oh, yeah. I'd love to go to one. So fingers and toes crossed one of those come along soon. But no, that would be really, really good. But again, talking about destination weddings, I remember watching this program on BBC, and it was called The $1 Million Wedding Planner. And she used to, I can't remember her name, Lillian Chu or something. She used to organize weddings. I think she'd only take 10 a year for these very rich Southeast Asians again, because, there are more billionaires in Southeast Asia than there are in Europe or in USA. So they obviously spend a heck of a lot of money on these weddings. And the average cost of these weddings are about $1 million.
Wow.
Yeah. And
$1 million?
Yeah. So they'd build a walkway over water. So it looks like the bride is walking on water to get to the altar. And flowers would be flown in from, I don't know, Netherlands or wherever. And no cost is spared, from what the bride is going to wear. And obviously everything that the bride has to go through in terms of the diets and the skin regimes and the hair extensions and all of that to look the part. Yeah, and then having jewelry inspired by, Western influences like Meghan Markle, etc. Yeah.
A lot of pressure.
A lot of pressure, yeah. But the more outlandish, the more it's a sign of their status. And so, yeah. So this is the world, It's the world we're living in. The opposites again. But yeah. So whatever your wedding day is, whether you got to invite 10 people or 100 people or 1,500 people, hopefully it gave you happiness. But if it didn't, hopefully future weddings will. That's really. But weddings are a good thing, and we're happy that you can now have your mum's name on the marriage certificate. About time. For me, that's the biggest deal.
Positive, actually. That is good. That is really good news. So.
Yeah.
And yeah, I agree. I think enjoy it, whichever way you like it. Just do what you want to do, because that's really important, and it's going to be your memories. So make the most of them.
Exactly. But don't become. You know how it is. What was that word they used to use? Bridezillas. You know how people just get obsessed with it and it just becomes a thing. And all the fun is sucked out of it because you've suddenly...
Fun goes, yeah. And I think that's the thing, when there's so much pressure to have all these, I must have this, must have, you think, oh my gosh.
Yes.
Just enjoy it.
Yeah. But again, going back to what we've said so many times now, it's the social media and all of that, and it's... it is, in a way, this generation's keeping up appearances. You know, when we were younger, it was about our parents keeping up their appearances, and now it's their own way of doing it, where... I don't know, so-and-so did this and so-and-so did that. I mean, was it Priyanka Chopra when she got married? How long was her veil or something?
Oh, gosh, yeah.
Something, some, I don't know, ridiculous length of veil. But hey, that's what made her happy.
And let's not forget the Mitchell wedding that happened many, many years ago. That was, 46 million they spent on that one wedding?
That's...
So,
personally, for me, that's obscene. That's an obscene amount of money to spend on one wedding, regardless of the consequences of the wedding. But, you know, there is better uses of that. And we already know the Mittels are very rich, so you don't need to do that. But I'd love to know what they actually did spend it on. What could they have done? Given everybody a gold bar? What did they do? A steel bar, maybe?
Warming for £500,000 or something for half an hour or something crazy like that. I think it was in the one palace in France or something. So I know that venue would have cost us. But then they probably flew everybody in, and well, I think it's endless, isn't it? You can spend a fortune and goodie bags to give out to everybody, you know, that sort of thing. Yeah. Unlike the usual pressure cookers that we used to get.
Yes, I remember you said you're going to gift everybody next getting married in our family. For the next 10 weddings, everybody's getting a re-gift of a pressure cooker.
We're going to reciprocate our pressure cookers.
Because you have 50 pressure cookers sat in your house, still in wedding box gift sets. So, yeah, all that nonsense presents. You know, make the presents useful. Like we were saying, adventures when you're going on honeymoon, get your excursions paid for. So somebody can pay for one thing, somebody can pay for something else. And that, again, helps towards the cost. And B, you're getting to do something that's going to create memories and bond you two together even more.
Yeah.
So it's
definitely.
It's finding the right use for money. But weddings are fun and they're happy events. And we give everybody getting married our ashirwad, and which is blessings. Right? So yeah, because we are now of the age where people will page lago us, i.e. touch our feet for blessings. So that's quite cool.
We always were.
We always were. The bath.
Masses of some sort of another.
Yeah. And I'm looking forward to all the weddings coming our way, from cousins, nieces, and then our children.
Yeah, it's not friends and everyone. Really, best of luck.
That far away, children getting married, especially for you, Didi.
Yes.
How exciting.
Yeah, lots of people now. So it'll be very interesting. Very nice.
Yeah, very nice. All the best, people. Happy wedding days, whatever it may be, and see you next week. Bye.
Bye.